Hey everyone! So I love movies, and today I would like to show you guys all the movies that I own in the 2000 and 2024 edition of my DVD and Blu-ray collection, where I'm going to be going through absolutely every single film I own on DVD and Blu-ray. Basically, anything that I own that is not on VHS will be shown off here. We're going to be doing this by shelf/category. There are a couple that fall into the wrong spots because they haven't been properly organized, or they could go in a different category. So I thought if we did it by shelf, and the secondary category was category, that would be better. So we're just going to start with this first bookshelf, which encompasses a lot of my heartfelt movies. So you've got spiritual, faith-based, you've got important stories or thought-provoking ones, you've got dog movies, you've got feel-good, maybe not feel-good, but just like really inspirational kind of films. That's what this bookcase is all about. I just kind of ended up putting those here. But I do want to show this really cool wolf pillow I have, first of all. I got this as a present. I don't remember for what it was, but I love wolves. I think they look really cool, and yeah. My mom got this for me quite a while back, so I think that's cool. I really like it. I love that pillow so much. But now let's actually get into what's under that. Beginning with the faith-based movies, we have the God's Not Dead films, starting with God's Not Dead, the DVD plus Blu-ray release. I've actually only seen this film once, and yes, I am going to try and talk about the movies a little bit. I don't really remember it. I'm going to try and rewatch it, and see if I like it. But you get a Blu-ray copy and a DVD copy in here. That was not really intentional. Like, I wasn't specifically going for the Blu-ray. It's just, I found it in the Big Lots $5 section, so I thought, why not? You know? I get a Blu-ray with it, but whatever. Here's the sequel that I also got there. And yeah. I also like that on the Blu-ray and DVD they specified what they were more. So this one's like the red for DVD and it actually shows the logo, and then this one's blue for Blu-ray. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah. And then we got another one of the films. This is God's Not Dead, A Light in Darkness. I'm not sure if this is the third or fourth film. The honest truth is, I'm not sure if I'm even going to like these movies, so I kind of picked these up because they were cheap, but if I end up liking them, I will go and pick up the rest of the series. Or I would probably get a collection of them at this point. I think there's only one I'm missing, maybe there's more, but that is a series that I may or may not end up continuing. And those are from PureFlix. Another film from PureFlix that I got was The Case for Christ. This is a A+ Cinema Score film, and this is based on a true story, based on the worldwide best-selling book. This film and the Light of Darkness, God's Not Dead one, I picked up at a thrift store in Willits that used to be, sorry, not a thrift store, but a pizza movie rental store. That used to be a movie rental. Anyways, here's the disc. You'll notice there's some old stock numbers on here. But it still works. Still good condition. You also apparently get 11 music videos from the album. Songs inspired by the original motion picture. Yeah, there's some cool stuff on here. Then, you've got the very heavy, mature, maybe not mature is the right word, though it is a very brutal and realistic adaptation. This is the Passion of the Christ from Mel Gibson. This is the definitive edition, which I specifically went for because I wanted to know some of the behind the scenes about the film. I saw this last Easter. It is a very hard film to get through. It is probably one of the most violent films I've seen, but it isn't violent just for the sake of it. It's got a point to it, And yeah, it's a really powerful film. All the documentary stuff on here is great. Like, they've got stuff on the editing, the score, through the ages. There's just so much on here. And I think at one point they were going to do a second film to this. I don't know if that's still in development. I feel like that's one of those films that, like, we know exists, but, like, in what form, I don't know. Maybe they're doing it, maybe they're not, whatever. I hope they do. As long as they do it justice, I wouldn't mind a sequel. Alright, then we've got the two Unbroken films from Universal, based on the novel. This is Unbroken and Unbroken Path to Redemption. I actually prefer the second film over the first one. I think it's got a stronger momentum to it. I think it's maybe better for a film adaptation, honestly. I'm not saying that I don't think the first film is good. I think these are both really good movies. I just prefer the second one more. But I saw these years ago, after reading the original book. And yeah, I rewatched them recently. They're really good. Alright. Then you've got Mercy. This is a faith-based movie. The Mercy. I never call it that. I just call it Mercy. This has no bonus features. I don't remember where I got this. I think it was actually my mom's DVD, but she's letting me keep it in my collection. So there's that. Along with I Still Believe. This is one I picked up at Thrifty Bargain in Chico. Really nice condition copy. You got some special features here. No barcode, which is kind of weird. Not used to seeing that. Maybe this was like a screener or something. I doubt it, but there it is. I need to watch those too. Another film that is not based on a true story. It is a faith-based one. This is The Shack, based on the worldwide bestseller. I've only seen this once, but it was an interesting movie. I think the judgment scene, the scene where he has to decide judgment or whatever, that kind of scene is really well done. It is really thought-provoking. Yeah, I don't know. Look, it's a movie. That is a really good part of it. The rest of it, I'm not really sure. Alright. And then we've got this two-film set of biblical films. You've got Paul, Apostle of Christ, and Risen. These are both biblical films. I think they're both just kind of, maybe not fan fiction, but they're both not based on spiritual texts, I don't think. They do base ideas, but they aren't Bible stories, is what I mean. But there's Risen and Paul. And I got this at the Goodwill in Chico. Paid around $2.99 for it. Pretty good deal for two movies. And then I got a couple films here from, I don't know what studio this was. They're all kind of from Sony, I guess. First, Fireproof, the special edition from the creators of Facing the Giants. And you'll kind of notice that's a theme with these three, that they're all from these people based on this or that. That's why I got all of them. This is going to be a hard one to watch. I don't like wildfires, so I don't really want to watch a whole movie about fire. But it's about firefighters. It's a pretty cool special edition. But yeah, this is definitely going to be a hard one to get through. I picked that up at the Opportunity House in Vacaville when they reopened. Then you got War Room from the creators of Fireproof and Courageous. This I got at the St. Vincent de Paul in Fremont. This is from Sony. And then Courageous from the creators of Fireproof. Once again, kind of following that theme. They're all from kind of the same people. This was a really good one. Actually, I'm not sure. I haven't seen any of these yet, but these are kind of in collection of films I need to see. And then, let's see right here. Oops. Struggling to put them up. We've got some biblical epics here. We've got the double feature of the original Ben-Hur and the original Ten Commandments. I have seen neither of these movies, and I probably could find deluxe sets of both of them, but it was pretty cool that I got them for like only $6 together. I just hate that they did this. Why are DVDs made like this? This is such a stupid practice of just stuffing the disc in one spot. I don't care if the case is bigger. They are going to be better protected if you just give them separate slots. I may even end up ordering a case just to put them in their own slots. Because, like, that is just one way to break DVDs. I mean, I guess it's a financial benefit, because you'll have to keep rebuying it, but yeah, it's so annoying. Alright, so I haven't seen those, but I have seen the remake of Ben-Hur. I didn't think it was that bad, except the ending. The music they used at the ending was awful, and completely ruined the time period and the tone. I'm not saying the music itself was bad, but just in that environment. Like, why? The whole movie I was like, fine, this works, but then at the end they're just like, let's put a modern pop song. No, that's not a good idea. Alright, next we got Chariots of Fire. 2-disc DVD edition. I got this at the St. Vinny's de Paul in, not Fortuna. Was it? Was it Fortuna? It was in Oregon. This is like the second time I've bought this movie on DVD. I used to have another copy. It was completely scratched. And I waited a while to rebuy it because I wanted the special edition. But that's kind of irrelevant, and you'll see why in a future video. Alright, and then you got Left Behind. This is based on the New York Times bestseller. There is like a whole franchise of these at this point. Quality level, have not heard the best things. I don't even know what timeline order these go in. So I just kind of bought this one on a whim. I heard the first ones were good. We'll see. And then you got 15,000 Steps. Life is a Race. This is kind of one I just picked up because of how cheap it was. A lot of these you'll notice I've not seen, or I haven't seen in a while. Free Bible study included. Yeah, I actually don't know. Is that on the disc? It looks like it. This film doesn't even have a rating, so that kind of shows how low budget it is, but that isn't a bad thing. You know, normally I would say, oh, that's a bad sign, but it being a biblical film, I like that it isn't funded by some giant corporation. I like that it's a smaller scale thing. Alright, and then we've got Countdown Jerusalem. This is one that I picked up at a yard sale for like, I think it was like 5 for 2. I know nothing about this film. This is going to be a really random film to watch. You've even got bonus features here. Yeah, I have no idea what to expect from this. Then you got Saving God. This is another one. One soul at a time. I know none of these actors, I'm going to be honest. But it sounds interesting. Apparently, is there an unrated cut of this? Or are they just specifying that the features are unrated? Anyways, yeah. You know, this will hopefully be a really good one. I'm gonna check these out eventually. Maybe I'll just start watching them one by one. But then you've got Pilgrim's Progress. Journey to Heaven. This is a film that I kind of bought because I knew someone was into the books. And I just thought, you know what, I might check this out, but check out the film version. I never saw it. I have heard good things about these books, or I know someone who is a fan of them. But you got a couple of them right there. They sound interesting. Their titles alone are intriguing. And that is kind of it for the front of shelf 1, the top shelf. Now we're going to get into the front of the middle shelf and the bottom shelf. And that's kind of how I'm going to do this. I'm going to go top down, front and back for all the shelves. That way I am, continuing the theme. Alright, so we're going to take a look here at my war epics films that kind of blends into my inspirational movies. We're going to start with a recent edition, the Michael Bay directed 60th anniversary edition of Pearl Harbor. I know nothing about this film. I've heard it exists. I've heard it's good. But I've never seen it. A little worried that it's from Michael Bay, though, because all I know about his films is that he likes to blow up a lot of stuff. Which isn't always a bad thing, but we'll see how I like this movie. Here's the first disc, and the second disc. I thought this was going to be a lot cooler. I thought it was going to have a lot more bonus exclusives. No, it's a pretty boring disc. Whatever. Then, you've got Dunkirk, a Christopher Nolan film. I know nothing about this. Well, I do. I do know some about it. I just don't know too much about it. It is from Christopher Nolan. I do love the disc and the DVD case color scheme. The dark blue, or whatever tone of blue this is. I like that and the pattern in it. That's not why I bought it, I promise. I bought it because I was trying to get Christopher Nolan films at one point. But there's that. And then we got a couple Ridley Scott films in here. You've got Kingdom of Heaven, the 2-disc theatrical cut DVD. I also own the director's cut Blu-ray. I would like to get a special deluxe set. I would. For the director's cut, but I'm not going to spend too much on it. Which is why I have these singular versions. Because they're just a cheap way to have them. But there's disc 1, there's disc 2. I've only seen the theatrical cut, but I found it to be fine. Though I have heard really good things about the director's cut. So we'll see. I mean, I'm always for the idea of, an artist getting to finish their work, usually. So, yeah. And then, Kingdom of Heaven, the Blu-ray director's cut. No special bonuses on here. Just a standard Blu-ray, but it is a director's cut. And I got this from the St. Vincent de Paul in Fremont. And you got quite a bit of stuff in here. It was a pretty good find. It's actually a pretty rare one to come across. I don't see this one out in the wild too much. But, yeah, it was a really nice copy. And, yeah. Beyond High Definition. This is back when they were trying to promote Blu-rays as the big new thing. But nowadays, we've come accustomed to 4Ks. Well, at least most people have. I still like my DVDs, though. Alright, let's see what we got here. Alright, next here we've got the other historical epic that came out around the same time. Troy. This is the 2-disc full-screen edition. I don't like it as much as Kingdom of Heaven. I honestly don't. I prefer Kingdom of Heaven over this. I haven't seen the 3.5-hour-long director's cut. Maybe I'll like it more then? I don't know. Alright, here's another one. You've got a movie I've never heard of. This is from Sony. The Kingmaker. I know absolutely nothing about this movie. It was only $1. It looked cool, but yeah, I don't know. Then you got Enemy at the Gates. This is another big budget war movie. Most triumphant war movie since Saving Private Ryan. Yeah, now we're kind of getting into my, war section. I've never seen this, but I will check it out eventually. Then, you've actually got a war movie that I have seen, and that I do really like. This stars Andrew Garfield. This is Hacksaw Ridge. This is from Mel Gibson. who did Passion of the Christ and Braveheart, which I believe I show in a minute here. Yeah, I really like this movie. I really enjoy this one. It is a Blu-ray plus DVD, which I didn't need the Blu-ray copy, but whatever. It was a very hard one to come across. It took me a while, so I'll get what I can get. Alright, next we got the standard edition of Braveheart from Mel Gibson. Winner of 5 Academy Awards, Best Picture, Best Director. This is such a classic movie. I've only seen this one once, but I will have to rewatch it sometime soon. Perhaps. Here's the disc. This was a pretty cheap find at some, just random place I found. One of those little pawn shops. They had a box of DVDs for, $1 or $2. So I got it, even before I saw the movie. Then you got, what is this one? Spartacus. This is in the tone of one of those big budget epics from the 50s, 60s, really before the Hollywood change, where they stopped doing such big budget movies, epics like this. This is over 3.5 hours long, almost. This is the presented, uncut, and fully restored version. So, yeah, you get all 3 hours and 16 minutes in this. It is a very long movie, I'll say that much. Then you got another Mel Gibson one. Maybe I should switch places so it's closer to the other two films. But you've got my 2 editions of The Patriot. I have the standard edition, special edition. This was a pretty good movie, actually. Saw it recently, a couple months ago. That is the theatrical cut. And then you have the extended cut, which I've heard has an alternate ending. I don't know. It's not rated. But, yeah. That's cool. And yeah, here's the disc right here. You got a little ad with some advertisements for other war movies. Some I've never heard of. Like, these first 3 here, I've never owned. Neither this one either. But, yeah. It's cool. Next, you got A Few Good Men. Right here, if I can pull it out of the shelf. This is a other special edition that I have. This has Tom Cruise, Jack Nicholson, Demi Moore. Another one of those Sony Pictures big budget war movies. I have quite a few from Sony, it seems. Alright, here's the disc. And yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I don't really like Sony Pictures that much anymore as a studio. They just don't make big epic films like this anymore. They're just trying to continue franchises and failing. I just wish they would get back to these older, more heartfelt movies. But they still got a couple good things. Next is Heart's War. I don't even know where the disc for this one went. It's probably in a DVD player somewhere, but I have it. I couldn't get through it. I was bored, unfortunately. But I did get through this one. This is the special edition of Glory, which you can tell I have a lot of special editions. This is actually a really cool one. It's in a bigger kind of case. I just found this somewhere for $2. I was needing to get a copy of the film anyways. Or not needing to, but wanting to get a copy of the film. And yeah, I'm glad I got a special edition. And it does have the little pamphlet with it. Got quite a few bonus features on here. Deleted scenes, original featurette, voices of Glory, trailers, talent files. Yeah, I haven't seen this one in years. I saw this, for high school. To kind of get an idea of, the war back then, during that time period. I wanted a more visual, thing than just reading about it, so, yeah. Here's another Mel Gibson one. Dang, I have a lot of his films. We Were Soldiers. I wasn't going to get this, but I thought it was sealed, or it was still unopened. Anyways, I do plan to watch it at some point. I just mean I could have just gotten it cheaper. But, hey, in addition to my Mel Gibson collection, which is very clearly pretty huge. Then you got another Tom Cruise film. This is Valkyrie, based on the incredible true story. I've never seen this, but I enjoyed Tom Cruise in some of his roles, especially Mission Impossible. And this just sounded like an interesting war movie. I got this from the St. Vincent de Paul in Fremont, and it still has some shrink wrap on it, which is kind of cool. And then I have a Steven Spielberg movie. This is War Horse. This is the, 2017 film? Is this from 2017, or is it earlier? I would have to double check. But I actually didn't like this one that much. It's kind of hard to follow, kind of confusing and boring, if I'm being honest. But I have seen it at least once, and I did keep it because I did buy it, so I was like, whatever, not a big deal. Usually, if I buy something, unless I hate the movie outright and find it unwatchable, I will usually keep it, because I spent the money already. But if it gets messed up or something, I probably won't go for it again. Alright, now we got some other more inspirational movies. But we got one more big budget war movie. This is The Last Samurai, the 2-disc widescreen edition. I got this at the Vinyl Solution store in San Mateo. Disc 1, Disc 2, pamphlet. Yeah. This has quite a lot of bonuses on it, which is pretty cool. Yeah. I enjoyed it. Then you've got another Steven Spielberg film. This is Amistad. I've never seen this one before, but you've got some great actors in here. Morgan Freeman, Anthony Hopkins, Matthew McConaughey, Djimon Hounsou, I completely pronounced that wrong, but you got some great actors in here. Unfortunately, it's not really a special edition, though. Also, who composed this? Was it composed by John Williams? I don't know. I'm kind of curious, but we'll see. Let me get it open. It's one of those cases with the little flaps, which is annoying. But here it is, disc, in good condition. And then you've got the special edition of Men of Honor, which I picked up at a Savers. And yeah, this was a really good movie. Really was. I enjoyed this one. I didn't per se enjoy it, but I thought it was really well done. Really thought-provoking. Alright. Now we're going to get on to the next shelf, which is also a bunch of war movies. Not war movies, but inspirational, thought-provoking films. And then we just get into tons of K-9 movies. Alright, let's wrap this up. Next we've got another Steven Spielberg film. This is the original Color Purple from 1985. Man, this film came out a long time ago. They recently did a musical adaptation of it. I saw it. And I'm really just, like, it exists. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I thought it was cool. Definitely less intense than the original film. I will say that. But, I don't know. Next we've got Good Will Hunting from the Miramax Collector series. I've never seen this film, but I found it in really good condition at the Opportunity House in Vacaville. And then you've got Oliver Twist, the modern retelling from Sony, back in the days where they were actually making films like this. There's the disc. I need to check this one out soon. I also know there is a musical version, which I've not found yet. Then you've got The Water Diviner. Never seen this movie. Picked it up at a store in Willits that had DVDs really cheap. And the disc is coming out. That's not good. No, stay. Alright, there we go. Yeah. And what is this one? Is this a Warner Brothers release? I can't tell. Oh, yeah, it is. Okay, what I thought. And then, to wrap up, we've got around 6 more titles. You've got Cinderella Man. This is a Ron Howard romance. Yeah, these were kind of more organized, and then they kind of got unorganized in the first take of doing this video. But they're still all in the same shelf, so whatever. Then you've got Secondhand Lions. Right here. This is a good one. I've heard. I've seen it once. I don't remember what I thought of it. And I don't remember why it was rated R. Oh wait, no, it's rated PG. For some reason I thought this film was rated R. What the heck? Okay. Yeah. Here's the disc. Maybe there is an R-rated cut, and I'm just blind. This was actually a hard one to come across on VHS. I know the first copy I got was in terrible condition. And then you got Castaway with Tom Hanks. Wilson! Like, come on. So iconic. Alright, yeah. No, this is a really good movie. I don't know if I liked it as much as people used to like it, but I thought it was okay. Pay It Forward. Another snapper case. I hate these, but I bought this movie twice because one's broken, the other one works. Really, I should just get a copy in a normal case that works and then throw out both of these, but whatever. I own 2 copies of it. Other one's stuffed somewhere else. The Perfect Storm from 2000 with George Clooney and Mark Wahlberg. Got this at a Goodwill store, I think. Here's the disc. I did like this about the old snapper cases. I like how the artwork kind of folds into the case. I just don't like that the whole case is cardboard. Because it's like if you get it wet, it's completely destroyed. It just feels so fragile. I don't like it. It feels weird. It doesn't feel weird, it just feels... what's the word? Unstable. Alright, and then you got the Shawshank Redemption. With Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman. This is the 10th anniversary edition. And yes, I know there is a 4K and a Blu-ray now, but hey, I like my bonus features. And besides, I'm not really a Blu-ray collector. Or 4K collector. But pretty cool. And that is going to do it for the front side, if I can speak, of shelf number 1. So now we're going to take a look at all the movies on the back side, and that video should be coming to you shortly. Alright, thanks guys.